Good morning and welcome to Scene 55, and I am Sean. And I haven't done an episode in, I think it's like been about 3 weeks, and I just had a lot going on and felt a little bit overwhelmed. I was going through a little bit of depression, and I had a problem with my eye, which you probably noticed in previous episodes. The swelling has gone down quite a bit. I went in for some surgery, and so what happened was I had a sty, and I didn't take care of it properly, and the inside of my eyelids swelled up filled with oil or pus or something like that, and I had to go in and have them remove it. And the funny thing about it was the night before the procedure, I was struggling to figure out how I was going to make it to the next payday. And when I went into the procedure, I go through all these exams and stuff like that, and the eye doctor comes in and looks at my eyelid, and he says that he he gets excited and he goes, "Give me a moment," and he walks out of the exam room and comes back a few minutes later, even more excited, and he tells me, "We're going to do the procedure exactly the way I normally do, and the only difference is we're going to take some eyelashes and we're going to pay you money." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they explains to me that they have a clinical studies department, and they just started this clinical study about mites that live on your eyelashes that could be possibly a result of causing styes, and they needed to do a study to prove it. And anyway, so I agreed. I signed all the papers and I went through the procedure, and then they gave me a check. And it was funny because the whole time I'm thinking of Robert Rodriguez, director, El Mariachi, Desperado, Spy Kids. He donated his body to science or something like that. He did some clinical studies, and he was in some lab for, I think it was a month, and afterwards they paid him a lot of money, and he used that money to make El Mariachi, uh, and look where he is now. El Mariachi ended up being this big thing. There's this whole thing. If you haven't read the book or the audio book of Rebel Without a Crew, and you're into filmmaking, I highly recommend it. Robert Rodriguez was basically just trying to save a lot of money, and El Mariachi was meant to be more of a test film where he uh, basically just wanted to show what he could do and then get more work as a director. And El Mariachi ended up being so well done that um, he was trying to sell it to the Mexican film market, and they kept putting it off, and he ended up selling it to uh, studio in the U.S., which turned out to be a lot better for him because that's why he exploded. And I guess that's history. I don't remember all the details, and I don't necessarily want to go into all the details. So definitely, if you're into filmmaking, and especially if you want to learn about low budget filmmaking, um, get the book Rebel Without a Crew or the audiobook. I got the audiobook because I can listen to it while I'm driving. So, but anyway, I had the surgery on my eye. I got some money, which definitely helped me get through to the next payday, but I'm still always short on cash. The issue that I have is, well, the economy. Plus, I work in a department that doesn't really allow overtime. There's really no need for overtime, and occasionally we'll get overtime to do things like inventory or cleaning the warehouse, rearranging the warehouse, things like that. But now that that's all done, there's no need for any overtime. So uh, even when I'm hanging out with my friends and they want to do stuff, I have to be careful of what they're doing and what kind of money I'm spending. And I think sometimes they forget that I don't get overtime like they do. All my friends work in other departments that get plenty of extra time. But anyway, the other things I was going through over the past 3 weeks was that my debit card got compromised, and I was really worried about it. I didn't get any money taken from me, but someone was trying to take money from me. Where it ended up working out in my benefit was that I was extremely cautious, for one, but also um, so that I don't have any auto pays that I'm not aware of take money out of my account. I keep everything in my savings, and when I know something needs to be paid, I just move that amount from my checking to my savings. And so I kept getting a notification saying that the a certain payment had been declined, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was an amount that I didn't recognize. So I finally clicked on it, and it took me to a website for some AI photo editing thing. And I do subscribe to AI, but I know the amounts that I'm paying. And this was a website I'd never seen before, never heard of before. The weird thing about it was that they had my photo on a in the corner as profile and all my information, and that freaked me out. I was like, no, you're not taking my money. And I called the bank. They canceled my card. But the problem was I was supposed to get the card in like 5 business days, and it never showed up. And when I called asking about it, they said, "Oh, because of Juneteenth, it's probably delayed." And so I waited another week. Still didn't show up. I have a feeling that it got mixed up, maybe accidentally thrown away by my landlord because it comes in a plain envelope. I don't know. So I called the bank again, and they said, "Well, if you want to have a better chance of getting it, you can pay $15 and have it shipped UPS overnight." So I did. I paid the $15, got my card overnight, um, and started taking care of my bills. Um, that's part of the reason why I wasn't able to do an episode for 3 weeks, is because um, I edit mostly on my phone, which is with CapCut, and my CapCut subscription had lapsed. And so there's a bunch of features that are pro, and you have very, very limited ability when you don't do the pro if you're just doing the free version. And I'm not it, I'm picky about my editing, so I waited until I could do the pro. Also, I do a lot of stuff with Chat GPT, and that had lapsed also, so I had to wait to pay that. Um, but anyway, it's all good now, but I have to find ways to supplement my income, and that's an ongoing struggle. Trying to think of different ways to make a little money here and there. I would say extra money, but in this economy, there's no such thing as extra money. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out different ways to supplement my income. I don't necessarily want to get a second job. I'm too exhausted and tired for that. If I could do something on my own to earn more money, I would definitely do that. Um, I don't even I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, so between my eye, the debit card, and I was going through a little bit of depression. Luckily, my group of friends, I helped arrange and plan a double birthday party for two of my friends, and it was a lot of fun. We always have fun together, and it kind of recharges my battery, so to speak, because I don't mind being alone, but I do have a problem with being lonely. And after being alone for a long length of time, I start getting lonely. And so what had happened was planning this party kind of boosted my morale a little bit, and it'll stay up for a while. And then being alone for a long period, it'll just slowly decline again. And then we'll probably have another party in a month or so, and then I'll be back up. So that's what happens with me. I mentioned in a previous episode about looking at therapy, but I, for me, I honestly don't know if it would be helpful. I'm very self-analytical and I think things, I overthink things, and I think things a lot, and I analyze myself, and I know I'm self-aware. That's what I was looking for. So I know what causes my depression, and I know what helps it, but I can't necessarily afford to boost my morale all the time because, to go out, meet friends, do things, it often costs money, and I don't always have the money to do that. So if I lived in like an apartment complex or something like that, I could meet neighbors, talk to them, things like that, but I don't live in an apartment complex. So anyway, I just wanted to drop in, check in with you guys, and let you know what's been going on with me. I know I probably should have talked about this stuff as it was happening, but sometimes I just don't feel like talking, and so here I am now. But I will try to keep consistent with the episodes and do more, and hopefully things will get better. I'm still working on everything that I talked about before, and hopefully, you know, I'll have more to talk about. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening to me, and let's see what happens next.